I'd been thinking, but nothing ever came from that. Endless waiting, hoping that you'd react. 'Cause when I saw you move, thought, oh, she's a dancer, oh, she's a danger, the way she makes. So take your chance, 'cause she's spinning so fast, blurring the light she creates. So blow.
Welcome back to another video on the adventures of Yeti and MJ. On today's video, it's a video you guys have been waiting for a while.
It's a tour of our van. Come on, we'll show you our home. Welcome to our home. We have everything from a kitchen sink to a stove to a bed to actually a dining room. So we'll start right here. We have our little kitchen sink. We've got our sink here with a nice cutting board on top. Down here we have our water and our plumbing. We have the hot water turned off because, well, our water is in a jug, so we don't have hot water.
Our sink is actually pretty unique, but also very common in the van life community. Our sink is powered by the marine foot pump, which is actually pretty dependable in terms of you can use it when there's no power, but pretty undependable in terms of that thing is a frickin' workout. Our sink is actually a pretty basic sink setup. We have some extra counter space with this cutting board that I drilled into another piece of plywood to fit the cutout of the sink. And our sink is super dirty with dishes, but that's just van life. They dirties after one meal, so you have to wash your dishes after every meal, and we did just eat. So our marine foot pump is located here, and I actually just recently installed this, I think actually yesterday, so it's pretty new being right here. Otherwise, we ran the line all the way along this outside edge and then just had it sitting here. But now we don't have to have it mounted to the floor because it's so tight into here, and that's easy to be able to take the rug out and clean the rug. So big plus, not to have to drill into my vinyl floor. I really did not want to do that, especially with something that I didn't know if it was permanently going to stay. So if I don't like the marine foot pump, I can remove this piece of trim, get an automatic pump once I get solar power, and it's a good temporary use. Another thing that my dad and I built that took a lot of time is this door. This is a completely custom wall. The entire van is completely custom. It is completely created off of the thought of our minds when we built it, and how we were going to do it kind of changed as the van progressed. But this door is actually a fully functioning swinging door as if it's a house door, and it's made out of, I don't even know what the wood is that we used on this, honestly. I think it was like oak or 1 inch, 1.5 inch. I don't really remember, to be honest with you. It's a pretty simple door to build. The hardest part was we actually took something out of an old TV stand that was recycled and made this glass piece inside of the door, which was awesome. It's a huge plus for aesthetics when you're looking at it, and it just comes out to be a really cool extra feature inside of your van life and can add to a lot of depth.
Here we have our little stove. Pops up and we're still able to see our nice view, but it's got 2 burners, nothing too fancy, mounted to our countertop. Down here we have storage, our little cooler, because ice does melt in Arizona very quickly, so we don't have power for a fridge yet. But we keep our cameras, our Game Boy, our hydro pack, shoes kind of tucked away here. Then we have all our snacky stuff, lots of unhealthy goodies. Our little cube, we love this little cube. It is great for storage and sitting. Over here we have more storage for our food. If we open it up here, you can see we have a paper towel roller up here, which is really nice actually. Some shelving. We actually have storage back here as well.
Cabinets here came from the garbage. We actually got these recycled to us. MJ and I sanded these together in the winter in the freezing cold while this van was actually under construction. Painted this entire van, and the cabinets turned out to be really great. We actually just installed these grommets here to be able to click the cabinets in while you're driving around, because things can slide out pretty easy when you're on the road.
And down here is a lot of our cooking, actually all of our cooking utensils, plates, cups, all that stuff. Back here, we have our living space. So right now it's in table mode, as we call it. So it works just like a dining room in a camper van or a camper, where these will fold down into the bed. But we've got our table here, everything's cleared out from under there, and down here we have our storage where we keep our clothes, our more kind of personal stuff. It's kind of hard to see, but we keep our clothes. Back there we have a lot of other kind of little trinkets that we wanted to bring. And up here is obviously where we sit to drive. When we're just chilling at a camp spot or a park, we tend to put all of our extra blankets, Ahab's stuff. He's just kind of chilling right here, right now. Backpacks, dirty clothes, anything that we don't really want in our living area while we're just kind of chilling.
So our van is actually a 2004 GMC Savannah, and it is only the 1500 passenger, and it was a conversion van before we converted into an RV camper life, van life thing. So for total van conversions on the exterior, we haven't done a lot yet. We've actually left it as minimal as possible because we still want to blend in those high frequented areas with police knocks and things like that. We still want to boondock pretty stealthy. So we only have a roof rack here, stepping over the storm bush. We have a roof rack that holds 750 pounds, which is crazy. And all that's up there right now is my 10-pound snowboard. So not even remotely using what it's used for yet. But it's nice to have. We're gonna mount our solar panel up there eventually once we get to that level. We have our fan that blows in and out, but it runs off of the battery of the van as of right now. So again, we have to get solar power or run a different line from an external another battery. And we have a lot of power options that we can go through, but we haven't done them yet. We also have a box that's completely custom. We made this box. Michelle actually picked this box up for about $70 with the aluminum rack that holds 500 pounds off of the 12-inch hitch receiver. And it was plexi dipped in black, but we did that ourselves. I also installed some extra side reflectors on each side. I custom fabbed those parts out of a park. I don't know if you guys see my past videos on my channel or on our channel. You guys can go check that out though and learn how I did that. Up here on the top, we have a little cooktop that my dad actually helped me put on here, and we painted the box and made sure the box was painted with outdoor paint so that way it would withstand all of the climates and temperature changes and all the places that we go through, because we travel a lot. So the box is a super big help, but an inconvenience with having the box on the back. It is super heavy, and 2 people to lift this off is such an enormous amount of work that we don't ever take it off, which leads that we don't open our back doors often. And that's kind of disappointing because the van life is all about having all these doors open and just being able to kick your feet out right at the end of your bed, and we haven't got to do that yet. So maybe someday when we're not so lazy and we want to take off this 500-pound box, we might do that. This is the Schwemco ladder. I think it's about $100. It's universal for all vans. I highly suggest this ladder. I actually got it for my roof rack, and it makes it enormously easy to just climb up onto here as if it's a monkey bar, and it holds really well. All I used was 4, I believe, 1.5-inch metal tapping screws to mount it in, and I still have to caulk it and seal it all up. But this is a rather new addition to the van, and it's pretty awesome. Makes it definitely start to feel like the rig. I want to get a lift kit and black rims eventually, so I want that to blend in with the feel. Another thing MJ and I forgot to mention is that we actually completely custom made our blackout curtains with some reflectives and some Walmart blackout actual curtains that we cut and then adhesived with some 3M77 adhesive spray, which worked really well. We actually had some painter's tape on this one to make it hold a little bit better, but we ran out of adhesive. But we made a lot of them, so it makes sense. We also Velcroed the ones above the sink here because, or the stove, because we found out that they would like to droop down and had a lot of light bleed at night, which is when people from the outside can see your lights inside your van, and that is a no-no. You want to be completely stealth and completely dark and not have anybody know you're in there ever. So that is what we want to invest in eventually too as well, is some more blackout curtains and better power options. But you know what we do have, and we saved a ton of money on? this here homemade fly swatter. Baby, do you want to explain the story behind this fly swatter?
So it was last week, we were at Saddle Mountain, and so many flies were in our van, and we're like, there's buzzing, we can't sleep. What can we do? Well, we had one of those metal
Marshmallow sticks. There's one right
Yeah.
there. Heck yeah.
We took one of these metal marshmallow sticks. They're really good. Really nice. And then we decided to take a
Nerd.
cluster box. And
So we got nerd clusters. We bought 10 of them after Christmas. And 10 boxes, that is. Not just 10 individual clusters. No. If you don't know what nerds clusters are, they're essentially nerd rope, but they're in tiny little balls instead of being in a giant rope. So these are nerd clusters. If I can get them out. This is a nerd cluster box. And we folded this box in half. And then taped all the way around it with boxing tape. Or painter's tape. And made ourselves a what?
a fly swatter.
Oh, that actually doesn't.